Good morning. Welcome to Elephant Home. Welcome back to Elephant Home. I just wanted to sort of show you what our little project that I'm working on this morning is to create a little garden bed here. So this area is sort of part of their guest experience. So the guests sit around the fire there in the evening, and sometimes they put the tables from the restaurant down there, and sometimes also up on this platform. But Jason has agreed to let us use it to make a little garden. So we think it makes a good site because it has direct sunlight that'll come through the trees, but not for the whole day. Here at the equator, the sun comes directly over top. So there's a few gaps up there where we can plant like tomatoes and other things that like the sun, but they don't need to get fried in the sun the entire day. So it's a nice sort of shady spot. And yeah, we think it's going to be a great spot. So what I'm doing right now is digging trenches. I'm going to flip the camera around. So what I'm doing right now is digging trenches. So this is where basically when the rainy season kicks into full gear, it gets like torrential flooding rainy season. So what we're doing here is this is where the water comes down. So we're going to build a drainage trench along the top here. And then we're going to attach the trench to these trenches, which is going to house our plants. What I'm doing is digging trenches, and then I'm going to fill them with decent soil that we have from the forest that's already biodegraded from leaves falling out of the trees. It's not our end game soil, but it's pretty good quality, nice and rich carbon soil. And then we're going to top that with our nitrogen soil mix, or our mix that's more ideal for growing conditions. But these seedlings over here definitely are wanting to get in the ground. These tomatoes are ready, so most of them are ready. So yeah, we want to get them into something now while that other soil is finishing off. And this will be a good start. So yeah, I also have a trench at the bottom that will redirect the water out if it fills those trenches and becomes too much for the plants. It needs to have an exit point. So a huge part of success with this gardening is to make sure that people understand drainage also, because this stuff is like hardpan. The water just runs right down the top of that. So if we can get people's properties drained properly so that water's feeding their garden plants but not overwhelming them and washing them away, then that'll help a lot. There's a lot of lacking knowledge there, and Beatrice is having fun. Beatrice, hi. Tweaky kitty. Yeah. And Chris, this is behind the restaurant where our compost piles are. Chris is chopping nitrogen. So all that pile of stuff was collected off the highway yesterday, and a lot of it's too big and woody, so we've decided to chop it. So he's chopping it into these fine bits. Yes, we love tedious work, and it's becoming like that. And then we're going to add it to this pile, which is already mostly leaves. There's some food scraps in here, but we haven't added a huge significant source of nitrogen yet. So that's what we're working on getting in here now. And then once that's done, he'll leave that he's going to layer up the pile like we have done down at the compost facility. So he's going to take, maybe over here in this area, put a layer of nitrogen, a layer of carbon, a layer of nitrogen, a layer of carbon, and that'll create a healthy soil. This soil here is actually just soil that was dug up from the ground in this location. So what we think has happened what we know has happened is these trees have been dropping their leaves in this spot for 8 years now, and it's created its own really nice healthy soil down below just with the rotting of the leaves. So this soil is actually, we think, quite nitrogen rich. It's carbon rich. It's been dropped. Yeah, so this soil is very carbon rich. It's been the trees have been dropping their leaves for 8 years in this spot, and it's just been left to do what it wants. And basically, it's a quite nice soil. Don't mind my Band-Aid. Oh, I thought that was my Band-Aid. It's quite a nice soil, and we can plant in this right away. It's not ideal. It would be nice if it had more nitrogen. So what we've actually done is we've taken it and mixed it in with our pit, where there's quite a bit of nitrogen nitrogen soil already, so we're trying to balance it out a bit. But yeah, this is pretty nice. So this is an example of what happens when you just let trees grow, what they can produce below them naturally without even our intervention. All right, so this is our new little garden plot here. Elephant Home's first vegetable garden. We'll see how it goes. It's not filled in totally yet. Beatrice is always having fun here. Beatrice. But we've got, if I was able to plant them in their paper pots and put them in the ground, then I did. This is a watermelon and another watermelon, I believe, that's just about to open up. We had to separate that one, and that's another watermelon there. These are tomatoes, and there's a pumpkin. So yeah, what I'm going to try to do with the watermelon is spill them down this front bank here, kind of in front of this fire pit. The fire pit's not going that often, and it doesn't get raging hot. So yeah, and we've put the better soil in that channel, so you can see how it's a bit darker than the soil around it. That just means that it has more stuff in it, has broken down, and it's more nutritious soil. But they've been planted like in their actual original soil, if possible. And even here, I kind of like got a big ball of it at the bottom in its roots. So it shouldn't be too much of a shock with a different soil. But we'll see. We'll see how this goes. It's an experiment. I'm gonna fill this ditch with rocks, little rocks. So that will be our drainage. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Just another gardening experiment here at Elephant Home, but very happy to have completed that now, for now anyways, until we plant more seeds and plants in there.